Y'all would sign in sometime before you leave, if you haven't already. Call our meeting to order. Our work session to go over our agenda for next week's meeting. Okay. Got a good crowd here tonight. Appreciate everybody taking time to come. I hope we can answer everybody's questions tonight. Mr. Gregory, we have you down for the invocation. Are you okay with that? Okay. Pledge, Ms. Jones, I don't know. We'll ask her if we ever see her. And Ms. Reader will call the roll. We'll work on the minutes. And looking at the minutes, did anyone see any corrections that need to be made to the minutes? If you do, let us know. If you happen to notice something this week, please bring it to Rita or Amy's attention so we can go ahead and correct it and have the corrected copy for us Monday night. I didn't see anything. Is there anything from anyone? Okay. Guess we're okay with it. Announcements. You do have a form in your packet on direct deposit that we need to get filled out and turned in so that your commission check can be put into your bank account. If you would try to turn that in Monday night, if not before. You do have to have your bank routing numbers and things like that on it. Of course, it is confidential information. Also, on the back of your packet, back sheet, you have your committee report on one side, and you have the kind of a survey for the committees. It's that time of year. If anyone would like to change committees, just if you would go ahead and rank 1 through 4, 1 being your top priority, is to the committees that you would like to serve on. We may do a little bit of juggling on some of them. Some of them we got kind of loaded up. So we may, somebody, if that's their 4th pick, we may leave them off of it. I think next year, this time when we start out a new 4-year cycle, whoever your chairman is, probably will want to look at the committee structure and see if there's some things that they would like to change. And I know I've had some suggestions on some things that can be changed. I think our committee structure overall is working well. What we need to realize is that a lot of these are not by our doing. A lot of them are called out in the charter. A lot of them are called out in Tennessee code as far as they're necessary. We have to have them whether they meet very often or not. I think it's good to have it organized and ready to meet if it's needed, even if it doesn't meet very often during the year. But we do have a lot, and just, you know, y'all think it over, look at it, and decide which ones you think you want to be on. That would be helpful. We'll try to get those back in next Monday night, and at the October meeting, we'll present you with new committee lists. Any other announcements, Mayor? Did you have any announcements for us, or?
No, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, do any of y'all have any announcements that we need to make next Monday night or tonight? Mr. Ferguson?
Had some members ask me about this direct deposit. Asked me if this came out of employee personnel. It did not. We didn't discuss this. So if anybody else had that question, hopefully that clears that up.
We voted to do this, to take the county to doing this, and it's been in the process for several years now. But you mean the form itself? Why would it need to?
I don't know. Some people asked me if it'd come out of the committee. I said no. So that was just clearing that up. I understand the overall what you said, but I'm just making a note of that because I was asked that. I'm like, no, we didn't go over that. So
the form did come from the bank itself. It's from Wilson Bank and Trust.
It's the information that the bank requires.
You don't get a check?
Okay.
We will get one to you. You're so welcome.
Okay, do we have any, anything that needs, anyone knows of that needs to be added to the agenda that's not on our agenda? Okay. We'll go into it, committee reports, of course, the mayor's report, anything you need to talk with us about tonight or?
We'll cover it next Monday.
Okay, thank you, sir. Committee reports, codes and zoning, committee met August 26th. Met August 26th. And communications met August 26th. Steering committee met September 7th. Buildings committee met September 9th. Personnel committee had the 14th and 21st. Budget and finance met tonight. Insurance committee will meet the 23rd, which is Thursday. And Parks and Rec meets also on the 23rd. Is that correct, Mr. Gregory? Okay. Also, emergency services met September 7th. I don't think that's on your packet if you want to add that on there. Are there any others that we missed? Okay. Proper time, we'll take reports from those committees. Under active business, commission election, time to re-elect your chairman and chairman pro tem. Then we'll go into appointments. Right now, the only one that I know of is our student representative, Mr. Bowles, who we're gladly have back again for another year. You've done a great job last year, and we're certainly glad you want to do it again. And we appreciate your efforts. Mayor, do you have any other appointments you think you're going to have?
I hope to have a water board appointment. I've got someone I think's interested. We've been playing phone tag, but so I hope to have that name by Monday. If I get confirmation on that this week, I'll send that out to everyone.
Thank you. Resolutions. First is resolution 2021-25-729. This is resolution on round 2 of the ECD grant. Have any questions on it? Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir. This is the site development grant for Tennessee Central.
Any questions on that one? It's written rather broad. This was supposed to be, my understanding was for sewer line development out there, but I don't think it specifically says that. Is there chances that it will be other things other than that, or?
No, the application itself is going to be strictly for a sewer line.
I know it says the extension of sewer lines is an eligible activity program, so I think it given pretty broad powers as far as entering into this agreement. This is pretty typical, I think, for grants of this nature. Any questions on it? Okay. Don't see any. Okay. Next, resolution 2021-26-730. This is a resolution designating Hall Street, Gregory Streets as one-way roadways. This was sent over from the County Highway Commission. There's a map on the back of it if you want to see exactly what it is, with the arrows that show the directions that the road will be going. You will enter Hall Street toward Ward School, and it will loop on around and come back out Gregory Street. We do have a petition from several property owners in that area on those streets. They all seem to be in favor of it. We've not had anyone have issue with it that I'm aware of. Have we had, Mayor?
Not to my knowledge.
Yes. Mr. Dickey, did you have a question?
Yes. What's the purpose of having one way? Is the road too narrow or what?
It's narrow and people tend to park on both sides because they don't have much driveway parking. And it's just a problem. A lot of times people will be trying to figure out and pass. So they figure it just help with the traffic flow. Any further questions on that one? Okay. Next is resolution, well, if I can find it here. 2021-27-731. This is the whistleblower policy. Since I can no longer whistle, I have to blow a whistle. So I think this is required by the federal government on a lot of our grants and funding of that nature. The American Rescue Act requires this. I think we've already talked about it. Anybody have any questions on it? One of those necessary evils for getting the federal money. No questions? Okay. Next one is resolution 2021-28-731. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to renew the Comcast franchise agreement. We have had agreements with Comcast since back in the 80s, and it's for a 10-year term. It's renewed every 10 years. This is probably the 5th or 6th one, I guess the 6th one that we'll have. Any questions on it? Pretty lengthy agreement. I think it's been over by the mayor, and Mr. Beller, I believe, has looked it over as well, and everything seems in order. Any questions on it? Okay. So if y'all are good with all those resolutions, we'll move into budget amendments. Okay. First one is 2022-10108FB. This is a fund balance draw for data processing equipment. Is where it'll be going in. We've maxed out our licensing and number of phone sets that our system will handle. We're going to have to add some more phones for some of the new buildings, some of the relocation of offices and things. So we're going to have to do this upgrade. Went through communications committee. It was approved there. Did go through budget and finance, was approved there. There's some funds for licensing. Additional licensing will cost us a little bit more. There are also some equipment upgrades that will cost a bit more. The phones we'll purchase as needed. So mainly this is to get the system ready for those additional phones. Any questions on that one? Okay. No questions. Okay. Next one is budget amendment 2022-10107R. This is a request to amend the 101 general fund. This is for the Parks and Recreation Grant through TDEC, and this is a 50-50 matching grant. And these funds will be used to bring ADA accessible playground equipment into Trey Park and to make the access in the sidewalks and parking areas up to ADA compliance. This is a 50-50 matching grant, $98,000, and TDEC will match that with $98,000, making the total of this $196,000. Any questions on this tonight? Yes.
Is this just bringing it back around for a second time? Sorry, is this just bringing it back around for a second time? Or is
This is the same one that we had last time, except it does not have the additional funds for the ground cover. Still trying to decide which direction we want to go on that. This lets us go ahead and get this grant in place.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Okay, move on. Next is 2022-101-09R. This is a request to amend the 101 fund Senior Citizen Center. They have some miscellaneous charges, things that have come up that they need to tag into their reserve fund balance. They have the money for this. We just have to move it into these categories. They need to repair an air conditioner on the van. They had a broken window. I think a lawnmower threw a rock through a van window or something, and we had $500 deductible, so the insurance paid everything except the $500. And they're needing to do some lettering on the new van, I think, or that van. So this is just moving $2,281 of their reserve funds into these categories for them to be able to take care of these expenses. Ms. Russell?
Is this just, how many vans is this that we're lettering for $600?
Just one.
Just one?
It's the same van that had a rock blow out a window. They have lettering on that window and they're just putting it back on.
That's an expensive sticker.
They did get 3 quotes and this was the lowest quote.
Wow.
I think it's 24 karat gold lettering. I'm not real sure.
Must be.
Any questions? Any more questions? Okay. All right. So we'll move into 2022-101-10R. This is 101 funds coming out of the 10 CAMS funding for law enforcement equipment for the sheriff. Sheriff is needing to purchase some firearms, holsters, holders, some tack lights, some equipment for some of his officers. Any questions on that one? The sheriff's here. He'd be glad to answer any questions. I don't see any. Okay. So we're okay with it. Next, we have some budget amendments that came forward to us from the school system. I think all of these are moving their funds around. I don't think any of them are tapping out anything. The first one is 2022-140-101. This is to provide necessary funding for summer camp. The summer camps that they're having. It's one of the things that was a requirement that they do of their ADA or their AR. What do you call it? ARC, AR, the recovery funds. The what? Yeah, ARP fund, I believe is what this is. Anyway, the school board sent this over. They approved it. Budget and Finance approved it the last hour. It's moving money within their budget from one line item to something else, primarily for this, to fund this summer school. Okay. Any questions on it? I'm sorry, I probably can't get into answer a lot of detailed questions, but I'll try. Next one was 2022-141-2C. We talked about this earlier where the governor's budget did not initially say that they would have any raises for teachers. At the last minute, they did put it in there for teachers and bus drivers. And this is where those funds need to be allocated into those line items so that they can meet those requirements. There again, it's moving funds within their budget to these line items. But that's the purpose of it. Any question on that one? Okay. The last one we have from them is U-Trust donation. This is necessary to get the U-Trust donation funds that rolled over. They didn't spend them all last year. They're wanting to take them out of their unassigned fund balance and allocate it to the Office of Principal for various student incentive expenditures. There again, this was approved by the Board of Education and the Budget and Finance Committee. This is their money. We're moving it around. Monday night, we can take all of these together since there's no new funds being allocated as far as the school system. The school system one, which one? Okay, since it is coming out of their fund balance, we'll need to do it separately. Okay. Okay. Carry over. Okay. All the other we can take them separately. Whatever the will of the body is Monday night, we'll do that. Be sure and don't forget to do your attendance sheet and your committee assignment sheets if you don't mind. Certainly appreciate it. Not sure whether we're going to have any notaries. Typically we do. We'll get those from Miss Rita Monday night. Is any other business before the body? Mr. Clarity.
Yeah, I have a question. On your committees, it's got budget, purchasing and finance all in one. Purchasing is not supposed to be on its own by the charter.
Okay, just write in there the one that you would prefer to be on. We had talked about trying to lump those two together, but I believe the
Charter says purchasing.
charter says specifically that we have to have the purchasing review every quarter. So that's why we were holding it as a separate committee. So just make another line or just circle it or whatever. Okay. Thank you. I didn't notice that. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Let's see. I don't think we had anything else. Public comments? Okay. Mr. Dickey?
Hey, John?
Get out of here.
Mr. Clarity makes a second. All in favor, say aye. Thank you. Y'all have a great week.